Are you a Skyrim mod author? Do you write Papyrus scripts? Well, don't you love how the experience of making a very simple Papyrus script that just pops open a message box that says hello world involves opening up the creation kit? What you have to do is you've got to generally make a quest, and then you've got to go into scripts. You have to define a script, and once everything's all connected up with the Bethesda creation kit, then finally you can say hello world. Well, I was hoping that there'd be a much easier way, a way where you don't even have to make an Elder Scrolls plugin. Here's the way that I like to do things. Okay, here I am in Mod Organizer 2. The way that I would love a Papyrus Hello World to be is you could just make a new mod. I'm going to create an empty mod called Hello World. That's just an empty folder. I'm going to turn it on so that it'll run in our Mod Organizer 2. And once you open up that folder, what if we just put scripts in there? Now, where Creation Kit likes its scripts is inside of scripts source. And inside of there, we're just going to put a simple hello world script. Here's what it's going to look like. All right, I have my script source folder, but I've gone ahead and I've opened it up in Visual Studio Code. This would also work in Sublime Edit or Notepad++ or whatever you use to compile your Papyrus scripts. If you don't use Visual Studio Code, I recommend it though. So we're just gonna open up a new script and call it Hello World, the way that you would do in pretty much any other programming language. Make it as simple as possible. So for us, we're gonna say script name Hello World, and then for all Papyrus scripts, whenever they get created, they fire their on init event. So event on init. And then the equivalent in Papyrus to just printing out a message would be opening up a message box on screen. So we'll say debug.messageBox, and we'll say hello, comma, world. Wonderful. Now, the only gotcha here in Papyrus is if we run the game right now, let me go ahead and compile this because this will compile. Nothing's going to happen and it's not going to pop up. That's because we need to go into Creation Kit, make a quest or an alias or attach this to an object, do something inside of Creation Kit that will attach this script to an object in the game, an actor in the game, a player, something like that, so that the script will instantiate, so that it'll run. Well, I got kind of tired of doing that every time I wanted to make a script. So instead, I made it so that you could do this. Inside of your scripts folder, make a auto bindings directory so that you can automatically bind this script to an object just like you would do in Creation Kit, but without having to make an ESP Elder Scrolls plugin file at all or going into Creation Kit whatsoever when making your plugin. So I'm going to say new text file, my bindings, my file, my whatever. You can call it whatever you want. Every mod could have their own little text file. So this is a little text file, and all you do is you put in the name of your script. Now I'm going to run the game with no ESP installed. All right, so we're going to go ahead and head into Riverwood. We're just going to COC into the game and see what happens. Hello world. Wonderful. The simplest thing in the entire world. I'm going to QQQ out of the game. Nothing could have been simpler. I didn't have to make an Elder Scrolls plugin or anything. Well, how did this happen if you're curious? Well, what this did was this actually bound our Hello World script to an object. It bound it to the player. Now, if you want to, there are other use cases for this. If you want to bind this to the player yourself, well, you could use the player's code. You could also bind this to the code of Nazim or Braith or anything like that. You could also even use certain editor IDs, mainly for quests like MQ102. Let me show you a quick example of how you might want to use this. So here's one of those text files. I changed the script and I renamed it to Say My Name. Now the Say My Name script, all it does is whenever the script launches, it just prints out to the screen the name of whatever it was attached to. If you remember, hello world was automatically attached to the player. So in this case, if you just said hello world, it would say prisoner or whatever the player's name is. I could show you the code here. You don't have to pay too much attention to it. It basically just gets the name of the object, does a little bit here in case it's an actor to get the name, and it says script attached to blah. Now we attach it to a couple of things. Say my name without any arguments, we'll attach it to the player. This will attach it to a quest with MQ102. Of course, that's an editor ID, but be careful. Editor IDs of actors and most things in the game don't work. It usually mostly just works with quests. This will actually attach it to gold, just a gold piece. You can use basically any hash code from the game, like Nazim, if you wanted to. I'll keep it as gold. And then I wanted to show this as well. If you add a space or some tabs and then put an ESP or ESM or ESL afterwards, it'll look up this form in this mod and attach this script to it. Let's run this in the game. I did back into Riverwood. Let's see what we get. Remember, we have those 4 say my names. They may not be in order based on how debug message boxes work, by the way. So we have script attached to gold. That's one of them. Before the Storm, that is the actual name of the MQ102 quest. That's the starting game quest. Now we have one attached to the prisoner. That's the default name of the player if you just COC directly into the game. And then Lucian actually worked by finding the reference to Lucian. That's what that number was from the mod. And that's kind of all I have for today. It's just really simple ways of creating a script and attaching it to something in the game without making an ESP. I've been using this and loving it just for making those one-off scripts where normally I would just make an ESP, make a quest, attach one script, and that's it. Here, we don't need an ESP at all. So check it out on Nexus. My name is Moralper. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Moralper, or check out my YouTube series on Scam modding tutorials called Scam Scripting. Thank you all so much, and I hope you enjoy this SKSE plugin, my second SKSE plugin. All right, thank you so much.